What's going on, everybody? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Let's dive right into some recent news and happy Friday. So first up, this is shared by Ripple. We have a new group that is tokenizing on the XRP Ledger. So this is Aviva Investors. So we have tokenized finance on the XRP Ledger with Aviva, and we have Marcus over at Ripple, and then we have Aviva Investors in a recent Twitter space. So when we go to avivainvestors.com, we can see they're About Us, a global asset manager. When we scroll down, we can take a look. They have over 1,000 plus, or over 1,000 employees, 9 countries of operation, and over 250 billion pounds in AUM globally. And to get a better idea, 253 billion British pounds is equal to over 340 billion US dollars, so a sizable group. So just like Neats Bucks already said, we have several hundred billion AUM coming to the XRPL. We also had this article right from CoinDesk, so we have Aviva Investors to tokenize funds on the XRP Ledger and Ripple partnership, so they are UK based. And this is Aviva's first move into tokenization, so they have officially partnered with the company Ripple to tokenize traditional funds on the XRPL, aiming to develop regulated blockchain-based fund structures starting this year. So we can see that Ripple is supporting Aviva Investors in issuing and managing tokenized funds on the XRPL. We've been seeing this more and more with asset managers using tokenization to basically represent shares in money market funds, private credit, real estate, any type of strategy leveraging blockchain networks. We don't need to go over the benefits, we've gone over this a million times. What's interesting to note is we have some updated info right here related to the XRPL. Let me zoom out so we actually stay centered. So we have the XRP Ledger started up in 2012, has processed more than 4 billion transactions, and supports over 7 million wallets. I feel like not too long ago we were at 5 million wallets. So we're definitely going to be keeping tabs when Aviva Investors gets added to the RWA league table on the XRP page and begins tokenizing these funds. We've gone over a few of these, like Control Alt, we can see 287 million in value on the XRPL. And then down below, we can also see they've been doing different diamond collections. So we have Control Alt. I guess they were classifying these diamond collections as commodities. So we can see right here, 105 million. Then we have a few others down below, SD collection, L collection, etc. What's also interesting, and I just posted this on Twitter as I checked the blog for Control Alt, and we just got a blog post that came out today. And yeah, I still call it Twitter sometimes instead of X. So we're familiar with Control Alt and the DLD, the Dubai Land Department, and this real estate tokenization project using the XRPL. And now we have phase 2 beginning with secondary market trading. So down below, I already did a Control F to highlight XRP, so we can see all on-chain transactions in this phase will continue to be executed on the XRPL and secured by Ripple custody. We have Phase 2 builds on the successful pilot stage, during which 10 properties were tokenized, representing more than $5 million. We have approximately 7.8 million tokens issued during the pilot now will be eligible for resale within a controlled secondary market environment, expanding access and liquidity across Dubai's real estate market. So it's important to understand that all of these numbers, these pilot projects, they have to start really small. But this is very important to establish a proof of concept and then lead to much bigger use cases and a lot more money. And one of the most important things is regulation, and we can see they are secured by Ripple custody, so they already understand the game. We have down below, this infrastructure is underpinned by Control Alt's role as a virtual asset service provider, or a VASP, the first firm to receive an issuer license from VARA, along with being a holder of a broker-dealer license, so this is a big deal. Alright, now we're going to go side by side comparing Bitcoin versus the S&P 500 and looking at its overall ROI. Now obviously, if you're looking at Bitcoin since it was created in 2009 versus the S&P 500, there is no competition. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset in history. But realistically, as Bitcoin gets bigger and bigger, we are going to see diminishing returns, so the gains are less and less. And funny enough, even considering those diminishing returns, Bitcoin and the entire crypto asset class has a long way to go. We know the S&P 500 market cap is over $60 trillion, whereas the entire crypto asset class is at $2.3 trillion, and Bitcoin's market cap is $1.3 trillion. And looking at Ethereum, we have over 237 billion in market cap, not even a trillion. Same thing for XRP, 87 billion. We have BNB, we have Solana under 50 billion. Now what we're going to do is go side by side and look at the S&P 500 versus Bitcoin and measure the ROI, and we're actually going to start off in January of 2023. So we're actually going to start right around this bottom, right there. Just Bitcoin returning around 16,000 up to 125k. And for reference, just a sloppy measurement of this, we can see basically returning 660% and then today up 300%. Let's do the same thing for the S&P 500. So we'll go from around January 2023 as soon as we can find it, so basically right there, to all the way up to 84, almost 85%, and up about 82% today. Now don't get me wrong, the S&P 500 is tried and true, and it is absolutely safer. But let's play a video going side by side of the returns of the S&P versus Bitcoin. So since 2023, we have Bitcoin up over 300% and the S&P 500 around 80%. So two different categories, different asset classes, different market caps, different risk, different ride completely, and different upside. And that's why I don't pick sides, and a huge benefit of a Roth IRA is you can have multiple. And that's why I have a Roth IRA and an index fund. You can choose VTI or FSKX or just anything like S&P 500 based. And I also hold a Roth IRA with iTrustCapital. You can split it between whatever you want. If you want precious metals, XRP, Bitcoin, I do recommend, not financial advice, making sure that you do have exposure to legitimate assets in the top 10. I wouldn't go all in on some microcap. You can see the benefits are clear. It's nice to have that steady, maybe 8 to 10% return on average with an index fund that's reliable, less volatile, and less of an emotional roller coaster, but then you still are positioned for that asymmetric upside if you hit a home run. And keep in mind, this is retirement. This is not thinking this year or next year. It's over the long term. To be able to take advantage of 100% tax-free growth in a world where realistically taxes are going to keep going up. So this is linked in the top of the video description and the first link in my link tree. So I've been with iTrust since January of 2020, and an important thing to consider is not just Roth IRAs or premium custody accounts. It's also about having a beneficiary in place if anything ever happened to you. So with a Roth IRA or a PCA, you can set a beneficiary. If you hold your assets in cold storage or on Coinbase, you cannot unless you have to set up some type of trust structure and pay a lot of fees. So that's definitely something to consider if you have retirement holdings or sizable holdings in the future. If anything ever happened to you, do you want those funds to go into probate? Do you want to pay tens of thousands of dollars to attorneys to even get those funds and maybe be able to give them to your loved ones? I don't trust attorneys dividing everything appropriately. So this will be linked right in the top of the video description. Go create an account today. And if you've been watching my videos for a while now and you're a US resident and you have yet to create a free account on iTrust, I don't know what you're doing. There are no monthly fees. Go check them out. And we can do the same thing for XRP for reference. We know that crypto is volatile. The crashes are a lot worse than the S&P 500, but also the gains are a lot better historically. So roughly measuring from January of 2023, as soon as I find it, I think it's that wick right there, and then going up to the high that is over 1,000%, and then up to today's price that is 370%. Significantly better than the S&P 500's 80%. Alright, we have a lot to cover in the next video, but let's finish up with a few things. So first up, we have the Ripple US dollar being listed on Hashkey Exchange. And we also had this shared by Binance, so Binance completes the integration of the Ripple US dollar on the XRP Ledger. And taking a look at the Ripple US dollar's growth in terms of market cap, and keep in mind we are significantly younger than USDC and Tether, and we're killing it. And since inception, we got to $1 billion market cap, and now we're at 1.5 billion, on the road to 2 billion, and then 10 billion, and so on. There's a lot going on. Remember the Max Group news that we went over, tokenization, and especially regulation. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button, links are in the video description, and until next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.